Hey guys! So, I just got home from work, and I fed the ponies, and I got some books in this general region, but you know, I've been working since like 5 a.m. and it is now like 6 p.m. and I'm tired, so I'm sitting on the floor, so welcome to my lower shelves. If that's not an innuendo, I don't know what is. But I just figured I would show you guys what I picked up this month as far as books go. Yeah, that whole self-control thing still doesn't exist. But let's just get into it. So the first two books that I picked up this month were not planned at all, but I started the Magician's Trilogy, which I already owned the first book, so I immediately went out and picked up The Magician's King and The Magician's Land by Lev Grossman. This is the second and the third book in the trilogy. I cannot praise these books enough. I will leave my review of them in the description down below. Read these books. They're unbelievable. They're so good. And I figured I would just throw these in because I technically acquired them this month. I don't know. I got Worlds of Incan Shadow by Lena Coakley, and this came in my owl crate. It's kind of like a fictional, historical story about the Bronte sisters. That's all I got. I haven't read it yet, but it sounds really good, and I really like the cover. So this came in the owl crate. And the book that I got in my uppercase box this month is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. So excited! And it is, oh wait for it. It's signed. I don't know if you can even see that, but boom, signed. So if that doesn't sell you on the uppercase box, I don't know what does. So I will leave links to both of my unboxing videos down below for those two books. And of course, I also did this. This happened. So let's just stabby and get into this because I'm pretty excited. So here we go. Legit unboxing going on. Okay, this is really heavy. I'm gonna put it down. That's why I'm sitting on the floor, guys. I'm so tired. I don't want to hold things. So we got some paper. Got some more paper. Got some more paper. What? There's always so much paper in here. These boxes would burn like you would not believe. Okay, so I wasn't gonna buy any books this month off of Book Outlet, but this book that's sitting on top is the reason that I placed this order, because when I hopped on the site just randomly to check it out, there were only 2 in stock, and that means you need to hustle to get it, and sometimes you won't even get it after you place your order. Every now and then it'll kind of like say we're sold out, but that is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. All I've heard is unbelievable stuff about this book. I have been wanting to get my hands on it, but I haven't wanted to pay the $25 cover price on this book, and it's a hardcover, and it was on there for really cheap, so I immediately placed an order. So yeah, that's what I did to get this book. It literally has every author blurbed on the back that you can imagine as far as adult fantasy goes, and it's blurred by Patrick Rothfuss, so I mean that's an auto buy for me. So I'm really excited about this. The next book I picked up, they happen to be having, I think, sci-fi books on their like 50% off sale. Every week they do like 50 books that are 50% off their already really cheap prices. And when I happened to go on there, it was science fiction. So of course I browsed through it just to kind of see what was going on. And I found this book. It's called The Originals, and this is by Kat Patrick. And the only reason I picked this up is because I've read a book by Kat Patrick before called Forgotten, and I loved it. It says that it's about 3 girls who grew up believing they were identical triplets. Then they learned the truth, and no one else can know. I don't know what that means, but the fact that it was in the science fiction section means there's probably some weird cloning or genetics or something, but I just like this author, so I grabbed this. The next book I picked up was also in that sale, and again, this was another author buy for me, and that is When We Wake by Karen Healy. I believe she wrote Guardian of the Dead, which is a book that I read years ago, and I just really remember enjoying the fact that it was a very different book, and it had really good writing in it. I couldn't tell you much more beyond that, but I recognize the author name, so that has to say something, but this just sounds really intriguing. It's about a teenage girl who is living in the year 2027, living life, doing her teenage thing, and one day she dies, and then she wakes up 100 years in the future with no idea what's going on in a government facility. So that just sounded really, really intense and intriguing, so I figured I would try it, considering that it was like $1 or something in their 50% off sale. This next book that I grabbed is a sequel to a book that I picked up not too long ago, I don't think, but it is Such Wicked Intent by Kenneth Opel. The first one is called His Dark Endeavors, I believe, but this is kind of a fictionalized retelling of, I want to say, Frankenstein, or the characters are based off of it. I don't know. I haven't read the first one yet, but when I see sequels on Book Outlet, I just can't help myself. If I already have the first one, I might as well get the second one. Even if I don't like it, it's like $1 or $2 on there, so it's justified in my mind, so I grabbed that. This next book, don't judge me about it. It's not very interesting in most people's opinion, but it's called Color Your Life, and this is by Howard and Dorothy Sun. This is probably not interesting, and I fully acknowledge that, but I took a couple classes in college about this concept, and I went to a lot of lectures about color theory and how the colors around you influence your life, and there's a lot of science and fact based on that, and that has always been extremely intriguing to me because I went to college for design. So color theory has always been really interesting to me, so when I see books like this, I can't help myself, and I just grab them if they're really cheap, and that's what happened, so I have acquired this book. Now, this next book that I got has been one of those books that has been sitting in my Book Outlet cart, and every time I place an order and I try and like pare it down to get it to a slightly cheaper price, I take this one out. But the fact that I keep adding it back in means that I obviously want it, and this was also in the science fiction 50% off sale. But that is The Bees, and this is by Laline Paul. There's a lot of L's in her name. I've seen this praised a lot. It has really good reviews, and it just keeps showing up in my shopping cart. So I finally bit the bullet and bought it. It pretty much just sounds like a science fiction story. I want to say it sounds like a dystopian society where it's very hive-like, in that, like, everybody refers back to the queen. All of the workers are humans, but it runs very much like a beehive, and I guess there's a lot of parallel worlds to beehives versus how society is now, and I don't know, I just finally got it, and I like this cover. There's a lot of different covers of this book, and I liked this one, so I did it. I bought it. Now, this next book is one of the first books that I bought from their scratch and dent section, and I see nothing wrong with it. But it is The Anatomy of Dreams by Chloe Benjamin. This book is like flawless. Why is this in the scratch and dent? I'm really glad that I paid like 99 cents for this, considering that it is perfect. But this is a book that I probably would have bought full price. So it's really cool, but it's about college students who take part in a dream study, and they start to kind of realize that the thin line in our minds between what we dream about and what is real in our minds is very thin, and it's a study about that. And I'm sure it's gonna be weird and wild, but it just sounded really intriguing to me. So I grabbed it, and it has a lot of people blurbed on it, actually, so I'm kind of glad that I picked this up. So, yeah. This next book that I grabbed is one that I've been looking for a long time. I'm slowly shrinking in this video. I am sorry. I will sit back up. These books are getting heavy on my lap. Okay, sit tall. Anyway, this next book is a book that I have been looking for at, like, yard sales or on here. Just when I saw it, I said I would finally pick it up, and they finally had a version on here that was not a paperback version, but that is Leviathan by Scott Westerfeld. I have the second and third book in this trilogy in the super tall hardcovers, and I really wanted to pick up the first one because I've only seen it in paperback, like, everywhere. So I finally found it in hardcover in, like, perfect condition on there, so that was pretty exciting to toss into my cart. This next book apparently was also in the science fiction sale. I bought way more from that than I thought I did, and probably spent less than like $5 on all these books. But that is The Revolutions, and this is by Felix Gilman. This just also sounds really intriguing, and it's probably not something that I would have ever picked up had I not seen it in that sale, but I'm actually really excited to read it. It's set in 1893, in the British Museum reading room when the Great Storm hits London, wreaking unprecedented damage. It just sounds pretty interesting, and the fact that it was in the science fiction section sounded kind of appealing, because this sounds like a very historical fiction book about the occult and this guy who is on the straight and narrow, kind of discovering new age and magic and love, and it just sounds very good, and I was glad that I got it. This next book that I got, I'm really excited to have found. It's a book that I have picked up in the stores a lot. Almost every time that I'm in there, I pick it up just because I really like the cover, and then I read the synopsis and I'm like, oh, this is the book that I always pick up. But I finally got it off Book Outlet, which is really exciting. But that is Fig by Sarah Elizabeth Shantz. I love this cover. It's gorgeous, and it makes me grab it every single time I see it in a store, so I finally got it. But the synopsis sounds really intriguing, and it sounds really heart-wrenching and probably heartbreaking. It's about a mother and a daughter, where I believe the mother already suffers from some sort of mental illness or physical illness, and the daughter is stuck in this very intense relationship with her mom, and it seems like she doesn't have much outside influence. It seems to have pretty much convinced herself of the kind of typical OCD tendencies, in that she can't touch metal certain days, she can't touch water certain days, because all of those things could potentially kill her mom. And so obviously this deals with some serious mental illness in it, but it also seems like it starts to get kind of paranormal. It seems like there's kind of some lines slipping in what's real and what's not, which I always really like books where you can't quite tell what the narrator is actually experiencing versus experiencing in their head. So this just sounds really good. I'm really glad that I got it. And the last book that I got is Burn by Juliana Baggett. And this is the third and final book in the Pure trilogy, which I love to death. And I've been waiting for them to get it in paperback so that it will match my other ones, which are actually like right, let me scooch on over. Oh, you can't even see them. They're like in this general vicinity. So now I have the complete trilogy, and they match, and that makes me happy. So, yep, that's gonna be it for this book haul. February is probably gonna be a big month for book hauling, because almost all of the books that I'm really excited for this year come out in February. So I have a feeling it's gonna be a very expensive month for me. So there's that. But it's gonna be an exciting book month as far as hauls go. Okay, I'm starting to not make sense. I'm gonna go eat dinner and go to bed because I am tired. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye.